Welcome to Getting Neighborly in Fairview, Texas, the official community podcast for the town of Fairview, hosted by the Fairview Economic Development Corporation. On every episode, we spend time getting to know our neighbors and hearing the stories that make our town a community. This is Getting Neighborly in Fairview, Texas.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are sitting here live at Clarney's in Fairview, and this is the initial broadcast of the Town of Fairview podcast, and I happen to be sitting here with the Economic Development Manager, Dave Quinn, and we're just going to kind of talk about the things out and about the Town of Fairview and everything that's going on. First of all, Dave, welcome.
Yeah, thanks, sir.
All
Appreciate
right.
you being here and hosting our show for
I
us.
appreciate that, and it's my pleasure. I just want to kind of do some housekeeping things. Why don't you tell the audience just a little bit about how you came to the Town of Fairview?
Absolutely. So March of 2018, a longtime employee, Ray Dunlap, found another opportunity and was recruited away to another community, and Fairview was in need of an interim manager. I am the managing partner for Day One Experts, and that's what we do. And so Ray reached out and asked if I'd be willing to step in and work for the Town of Fairview, and have come over and been filling that role ever since. So we're excited to be here and happy to be doing the work.
Yeah, Town of Fairview is pretty amazing. And for those of you who don't know, Fairview is an area in between Allen and McKinney, Lucas. It doesn't get a whole lot of notoriety other than when you get to Stacy Road, most people take a left to go to the Allen outlets and they don't take a right too often. But what we're trying to do is put the Town of Fairview on the map. And there's been a lot of good businesses that have been coming in the Town of Fairview, and kind of give us a highlight of what's been happening over the past year or so.
Oh, sure. So, really Fairview is a hidden gem in the Metroplex. It's this beautiful spot where people can have 1 acre, 2 acre lots and leave the chaos of the urban environment that has become DFW behind. And so we're very fortunate to have the Fairview Town Center, an active center with all of the retail and fitness and office space and things that it offers, and so close to these homeowners that have, like I said, the large 1 acre, 2 acre lots. But what sets Fairview apart, and what's very interesting around all communities, is we all have streets, water, and sewer, buildings. We have all of those things. What sets the community apart is the community itself, is the people. And one of the things that I think we would really love to do or want to do is highlight the folks that live in Fairview, because there are some amazing people that choose to make their home in Fairview, and they are doing some incredible work to change the world, and we want to shine a light on that. And so that's what this podcast is really all about, is how do we take and tell the story of those folks who have chosen to make Fairview their home, and tell the kind of the backstory and all of that with the backdrop of Fairview as a community that we know and love, and we're very excited to be doing that. And so we're excited that you, Eric, are going to be our host for that. We really kind of thought about, okay, who's the perfect person to really engage the citizens and talk to them, and without question, your name popped up. Several people I asked, and they all said Eric would be the perfect fit. Every time I mentioned you and saying, what do you think about having him as a host? It was a very positive response, and we felt like you've got a good name and a reputation in the community, and that's very good. And you're a supporter and lover of the community, and Lovejoy basketball and Lovejoy as a school district, which is the heart of our community. And so we appreciate you being willing to spend some time with us and get to know our neighbors, and that's where we get the name, Getting Neighborly. We just want to get to know our neighbors.
Well, and of course, with Fairview, it's keeping it country is the tagline, and what better area than can you promote the country atmosphere and have a little bit of retail involved, but in the grand scheme of things, when you're just driving out and about the streets of Fairview, it is country, and that's kind of the way we like to keep it.
Yeah, a lot of people sort of laugh at that moniker, I think, but really it is, in order to keep it country, doesn't necessarily mean don't build things or don't have people move here. What really keeps a community country is that neighborly feel, right? I know when I first moved to Frisco, there was, it still had a small town feel, even though it was 150,000 people. And the way they did that was the connection with the community and how they had conversations and really did things to make the community connect. And I think that's very important. And so we can do that. We can make sure that we maintain that community feel. I think that's what people are really saying when they say keep it country. What I think they really are driving at is that feel of the country, of knowing your neighbors and knowing the folks that you live with. And so what better way to do this than with the podcast and being able to get to know our neighbors. What I'm hoping is that it sparks some dialogue and maybe we talk to our neighbors versus yelling at our neighbors over social media. Sometimes that happens. And we're very excited about really shining a light on the people who live in Fairview and the work they're doing. And hopefully we will spark more of these organic conversations throughout the neighborhood. I know at Heritage Ranch, maybe we can get some folks talking out there about, let's get to know each other.
Talk about wealth of information. With my 1,950 homeowners that live at Heritage Ranch, there's so many backgrounds there, it's unbelievable. Right. And a couple of them actually serve on the town council, well represented. Heritage Ranch, I always like to say, has got about a quarter of the population of Fairview, and they like to be very active in the community as well. And even residents that have moved from Heritage Ranch that stay in the area have basically are still volunteering. And we had the Fairview Friends of Fairview Fire Department pancake breakfast this past Saturday, which we had about 300 or 400 people show up to. Right. Heritage Ranch residents, people in the community, former residents, and that's the sense of community that we talk about. You get everybody in the area supporting your local fire department. That is as community oriented as it can get. Yeah. And I was in the background cooking sausages, about 10 cases of sausages. There is pictures. I do cook. But it was a fantastic time. And we're going to have, on one of our future episodes, the person who's the chair of the Friends of Fairview Fire Department fundraising, Baxter, Bill Baxter, and who actually has worked for the town and as an IT guy. So it's just it's that wealth of knowledge, though. They're so well rounded. It's not only are they a Heritage Ranch resident or a town of Fairview resident, but they have background in this department. They have background in this industry, and all that comes together in Fairview, which is pretty amazing. Right,
we're very excited, and I think there's a lot of, I would say, fear and uncertain with the changing. The Billingsley just announced a major development at 75 and 121, and that's in Fairview. And people are wanting to be reassured that they're not going to lose the town.
Right.
And really, since 2000, the town has planned for this growth in the commercial corridor. It's very well thought out. We've had several meetings with the Billingsleys, and they understand the importance of maintaining that sense of community, and that's what they're looking for. When you look at a corporate campus, and when you're wanting to relocate a business, one of the main things a business is looking for is the community that their people are going to move into. And so it's important to them from a selling standpoint as a developer to maintain that community feel. And so they're working very closely with the town and with the leadership to make sure they develop in a way that is congruent with the town's vision and being able to maintain this sort of community feel. So some open park space, traffic flow that keeps traffic on the 75 and 121 corridor, but allows people to engage through park system and trails. And so I think the community will be very excited when we get to the point where we can start bringing those plans to the public. And there's an incredible amount of work that's been going into it in the background. But we really, as Fairview, has been given a gift by having the Pete Fish family partner with the Billingsley family. You could not ask for a better developer with a better reputation in the marketplace than the Billingsleys are bringing to Fairview. And this intersection of 75 and 121 is such a critical intersection in the region that Fairview is really poised to drive and have significance in the future of the DFW region. So we're very excited about doing that.
What's the time frame as far as the inception of the plan until it actually gets built out?
Sure.
What are we looking at?
They're fast and furious in the planning stages. We've had multiple meetings with them over the last month. And now that they've entered into the partnership, and so you could probably figure over the next year you will start to see them develop more and more, get more specific, and then start to come to the town for the zoning and the any things that they may need to do. So if you're really looking at late 2020, early 2021 probably for any type of real construction. There's a lot of infrastructure work that still needs to be done, Fairview Parkway and some other, we've got a sewer line that we're partnering with the City of Al-Anon and North Texas Water Municipal District. And then some Frisco Street, there'll be a realignment of Frisco Street. So all of these things have to kind of get in place. They'll be very thoughtful in doing that along with the developer, and how do we leverage one another's resources to maximize the value there. And it's critical to have that sort of corporate commercial value coming online to maintain and protect and pay for the community that we know and love for the residents. When you have a commercial segment of the city to help pay for and offset some of those costs. So those will be coming on, and they're excited to be here. We're excited to have them. There's some future growth happening on the Fairview Town Center. The Lincoln property has reinvested a lot of time and money reimagining the center, and they have some incredible stuff coming in 2020. We're very excited to see what they're bringing on, and then in addition to additional office space. So they see the market in our area as an opportunity for some value office, sort of that space where the creatives overlap with the value office product. And so 75 and 121, within that, within a 30-minute drive time of that intersection, there's over 1.5 million workers. That's not a population, that's just workers.
Right.
So incredible population to take advantage of all that infrastructure. So again, it's been a cool opportunity to see this this opportunity come of age for Fairview. This is something that's been in the works for a number of years, and we're just now seeing the fruits of that labor and all that sowing that we did. We're now starting to get to the point where we're going to start to harvest on that. Still got some work to do, but you can kind of see where we're headed. It's very exciting.
Oh, and I remember seeing the corner of Stacy and 75 when it was dirt, when I first started working at Heritage Ranch back in 05, and there was nothing over there. And then all of a sudden we had people coming in from the planners. It's like, we're going to build this, shopping center, and we're going to move town hall. We're going to rebuild the town hall. And then all of a sudden, next thing you knew, you're driving down the road and everything was built. And so when people kind of see the construction, starting to go along, they'll be like, oh my gosh, it's going to take forever. And the next thing you know, you're going to be shopping in those stores or going to those restaurants because they're going to be up before you know it.
Right. Well, and those, the corporate campus that they're going to be bringing, if you're CO and you live in Fairview, but you're officing downtown, you're spending 45 minutes on average one way on a good day. On a bad day, it's an hour and a half.
If it rains,
right?
double it, exactly.
Right? So now you're talking about anywhere from 2 hours to 3 hours that you're spending on the road. And I like to listen to podcasts and audiobooks, but 3 hours on the road is a long time, right, during the day. And so what we're able to do as a community is if we can give you an office park where you can have your office in Fairview and your commute goes from 2 hours to 15 minutes, I've just handed you time back with your family that you can't buy that, right?
Absolutely.
And so that's really what we're doing here is creating this place where people can work and live within 20 minutes of their home. And that home, by the way, is a really cool place in Fairview, right? Like I said, the 1 acre, 2 acre lots that you can't find hardly anywhere else in the DFW Metroplex. And so we think that positions Fairview for a really cool opportunity. And what better way to invest in your community than giving parents back time with their kids or family members time back with their loved ones, right? So if you're an empty nester and you don't want to spend time with your kids, that's cool. You and your loved one can go watch movies or do something else, right? But that quality time that you can't buy, and that's really what is on the table for Fairview. And so we're very excited about that.
So I'll put you on the spot.
Okay.
And I know in the industry there's certain things you're allowed to say, certain things you're not allowed to say. But of the ones that you're allowed to say, can you tell the people of some of the companies that are going to be coming into the area that are being planned, maybe for Fairview Town Center or, potentially up the corridor? Yeah,
so I can't really, you're right. There's some things from a corporate company side. There's a small firm that's looking at coming into the town center. It's a small accounting type firm. It's not a major thing. We're really not. We need we don't have that to sell yet. We don't have that office product to sell. There's smaller here in the town center is really all we have is, anywhere from a 1,500 square foot user up to maybe a 30,000 square foot user, but we don't really have that product. There's some retail coming. So a couple major anchors that the town center is working with, that Lincoln's working on. It's going to be very exciting in the 2020. We have Boomer Jacks that's getting ready to open.
That's right.
Levelland just opened up. There's another retailer that's kind of looking at the Old Navy space that's facing. I can't give you a lot of names, but
right.
there is activity, and there's about 85 to 90,000 square foot of retail space under consideration, which is a really big deal here for the Van Town Center. So I think all those things, there's sometimes the perception in the market that it's maybe a tired center or a little inactive, but I think what Lincoln has done with their reinvestment and taking the time and money to really sort of reimagine the space and bringing in doctors' offices and bringing in these smaller offices like the accounting firm, it really adds more life to the center, so you have more reason to come here than just shop. There's this sort of dynamic that happens, and with the living that happens here. So I think if people will just be patient over the next year to 18 to 24 months, they're going to see a shift, and it's going to be one that's going to be like, it's like when you see your kids and they're growing up and you don't notice it, but Gigi and Grampy come back after 3 months, you're like, holy cow, they've shot up 6 inches.
Right.
That's sort of what's going to happen. I think one day people are going to wake up and it's going to be like, holy cow, what happened to the center? We didn't know. But the cool thing is, again, that's all in the commercial corridor area. It doesn't necessarily impact in a negative way what's happening when you go east of Highway 5. And
exactly.
I think that's the big concern. And I understand that, and that we want to make sure that we're cognizant of that. But know that the town really had planned. This isn't something that just came up over the last month or two because of some opportunity. They've really been working toward this since the early 2000s. And we're just now, the timing is just now right.
Right. Well, and also what it does is it gives you a little bit of the big city feel, but you're still in the country atmosphere.
Right.
And without the dirt roads, we do have more than one stoplight.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it is a country area. And like you said, when you get east of 75, you have a couple churches on that side of the road, and then you get back into the back areas where you just got all those houses that are, you're not going to be building commercial places over there, so it keeps it country in that aspect.
Right, there's a lot of places that have the corporate campuses, but they don't have that sort of feel. They can't do that without driving 45 minutes or an hour out. And so really we are in a unique position, and I think that's just the home values alone will tell you how unique a position we are, right? It's an incredible value there. And so I hope that the citizens understand just that the town is working to protect them, and protect that. We understand the value of that, and that if they'll just be a little patient with us, they're going to have a really nice product that they'll be very proud of. And Dr. Goddard, I talked to him earlier, was telling you that he's going to be coming onto the show. But we're super excited to have him and what Lovejoy brings to the community, and being able to connect with that. Again, when you're looking for things, what makes a community, school system is really important. And so we're fortunate to have Lovejoy as one of our major school districts in the town. So
yeah, I mean, the Lovejoy School District has been just top notch since it's been built. And when the high school was built back in, I believe it was 2006, is when the high school was first built. It brought the extra students over from Allen and McKinney and Fairview and Lucas, and kind of got them to that one area. They're recognized yearly as one of the best school systems in the state, and there's a reason for that. And it comes from the top down. Fortunate having Dr. Goddard in. He was first principal there.
Yeah.
And he's now back as superintendent. My history goes back with him a long way since I been announcing the basketball teams. And I'm very excited to have him on one of the future episodes.
Yeah. Talk about someone who's passionate, right? And that's really what we're talking about, is the people who are passionate about their community. He is one of those guys.
I tell you what, I don't think he's taken a selfie that he hasn't had a smile bigger than the lens of the camera. It's fantastic. It's infectious. I do want to say one thing before we end this episode. I want to give thanks to Clarney's for allowing us to film here. They have a great venue here. If you ever want to come down and listen to any type of band, they always have something going on over the weekend. They have trivia nights on Tuesday. They have some local acts that play during the week, and then they have some bigger dance bands that play on the weekend. So also during football season, you can pretty much find your favorite game on one of the many TVs here. So thank you, Clarney's, for allowing us to film our episodes here.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Getting Neighborly in Fairview, Texas. If you're a business owner interested in calling Fairview home, contact our office by email at edc@fairviewtexas.org or visit us on the web at fairviewtexasedc.com. And if you're a resident and you know someone we should hear from, nominate them at fairviewtexasedc.com/neighbors.